Hi, my name is Ashley and I am a magical girl fanatic. I've been watching magical girl series and reading manga and just absolutely adoring all things about it since I was about 6 years old. So over the years I've seen all sorts of unusual and different magical little series and I've really wanted to share the love for a while. So I'm doing a little bit of a YouTube series to try and help people learn a little bit about it. Starting off with one of my favourite shows, Precure, which I have a couple of items from over here. It is a really daunting series to get into, but I promise I'm going to do my best to try and clear it up with you today, so hopefully you will go away and really want to watch Precure because I absolutely adore it and it is so fun and it is so worth watching. Precure is a long-running meta-series, meaning that every single season, excluding the sequels, is a completely different show. There's a new cast of characters, villains, new themes, new artists, new writers, new directors, new voice actors. It's almost like you're watching a completely different season. Precure was actually dubbed into Precure back in the 2000s. Personally, I prefer this dub over all of the other current official ones, simply because it keeps the most information and the aesthetic and the concepts of the original. It doesn't remove very many episodes either, so if you're going to watch anyone, I would personally recommend starting with that one. The other option is Glitter Force. It is the Netflix version of Smile Precure and Precure Doki Doki. I don't recommend these whatsoever. Honestly, I've watched Smile with my friend who was dyslexic, so she can't really watch subtitles, so if that's the case, if that's how you have to get into it, I'm not going to judge anyone from starting there. But honestly, I didn't enjoy it. They took out multiple episodes, they removed characters, there's some serious plot holes because of that, and there's just, they changed so much, and it's not really the same show at all, so yeah, I don't recommend Glitter Force, I'm sorry. In order to watch a lot of the films, you need to have seen at least the previous 3 seasons, because they are quite often crossover events. This leads to the first method of beginning and watching Precure, which is to do so in order. The big advantage of starting with the first season of Precure is that, of course, you get to see where it began. You get to see the origin story. It is made for beginners of Precure. There's nothing complicated about it. You don't need to be looking for Easter eggs. You don't need to have any previous experience in the magical girl genre to enjoy this show. You also get to see, as the seasons progress, how the show actually evolved. Certain seasons introduce certain elements that will continue on throughout the next couple of series. So it's really good watching them in order because you get to see how certain themes became what they are today. A really big disadvantage of watching them in order is that you're going to get a lot of spoilers, especially for some of the older seasons. This is especially problematic if you want to be involved in fandom, because the fandom is of course currently interested in the airing season, which in this case is Star Twinkle Precure. Then there's the issue that there's simply less technology. There's a lot, and I mean quite a lot, of stock footage scenes, so if you don't like stock footage scenes, you might not enjoy Precure or any of the earlier seasons as much as a viewer at that time would have. There's also the fact that some of the earlier seasons have things like flip phones. The modern seasons have largely done away with technology, though it does occasionally appear. All of the following methods of watching and beginning Precure are out of order. This means that if you want to watch the movies, you have to go into it understanding that you might not know all of the characters and that you might not be as invested in the story as someone who has watched along for all of the series so far. The only real way that you can get involved in the current community is to be up to date, and that means watching the currently airing season, which at the moment is called Star Twinkle Precure. This means that you are watching week to week, because you can't binge watch it, which will definitely put some people off. But it does mean that you can do fan art and have a lot more people recognise it than if you do fan art for a more obscure older season. You'll also be able to participate in forums as they come out, and perhaps you'll make friends a little easier than perhaps trying to look at some of the older forums which are closed. One of the disadvantages of watching the currently airing season is that unfortunately a lot of the conversation in the fandom does revolve around having seen previous seasons. They compare current characters to previous characters and so on and so forth. So if you don't know those characters, you may be confused or a little let down, or you may end up being given a lot of spoilers for previous seasons that you haven't watched yet. One method of watching is to watch by theme. Take for example Sweet Precure, which revolves around music. If you already really enjoy music, you may really enjoy the themes around the characters learning how to play instruments and learning how to sing. You may really enjoy the fact that their designs and attacks revolve around musical instruments and musical terms. Unfortunately, you may actually love the theme, but may really dislike the season. That can be really problematic and can put you off watching seasons where you aren't invested in the theme going in, so you may be feeling like you wouldn't like the season at all if that's the case. Then there's the fact that not all themes are created equal. Precure a la mode has the theme of baking, and it is involved in their everyday lives. They run a bakery, they have themed attacks, themed outfits, and so on. But when you compare that to 5 Go Go and Yes Precure 5, you don't get that same element. They're flower themed and butterfly themed respectively, but it's really only aesthetic. They only get the designs that have butterflies on them and flowers on them, and that's about it. They don't actually run flower shops or butterfly stores, they don't actually keep pet butterflies, and they don't really do anything butterfly related. So even though you might love butterflies, you won't really get to see much that's related to butterflies other than just simply design-wise. So that can be a little bit off-putting. Another popular way to watch is to go by recommended lists, either starting with a specific person's or looking at the average. Take for example, Hugto Precure, Heartcatch, and Go Princess that tend to be in people's top 5, while Happiness Challenge tends to be in the bottom. This indicates perhaps that those 3 in the top are the ones that the community considers to be the absolute best, and theoretically are a great place to start because you know going in that they are going to be good. But just as with any opinion, it can differ, not only between the people that recommend it to you, but between yourself and them. Everybody has a different list of favourite anime. Mine you may not have ever seen. Maybe you've seen them and hate them. That's the same for Precure. Just because everybody else really liked it doesn't mean that the things they liked in it are the things that you enjoy watching in anime. You may really love Heartcatch's really cool flower attacks. I like them. Or you may think that they're really bulky. The same goes for pretty much anything inside the anime. So just because someone else liked it doesn't mean that you will, and if you're already put off by what's supposedly the best ones in the series, you're less likely to watch the ones that are considered to be the worst. Another option is just simply start anywhere. Stick all the names in a random generator, spin the wheel, and go! Obviously you would want to start with the first episode, and you may want to remove these sequels, so you can tell it's a sequel by the fact that it adds words to a previous title. Take for example, Yes Precure 5, that eventually becomes Yes Precure 5, Go Go. That's an additional word. Or you can take Futaruwa, that becomes Futaruwa Max Heart. Super well concept. I hope that was interesting and maybe educational. I'd love to know where you started watching Precure if you have, or if you have not, where you intend to start it now, in the comment section. Of course, if you've got any future questions about Precure, I will be happy to answer them now, or if there's quite a few, I might make another video. So, yep, I don't know when I'll see you next because I have a lot of things to do, but I'll see you next time, whenever that next time may be.